deliver 11 nuclear bombs.
Now you got people playing word games with this Jew. Oh, I thought we said the whole thing was destroyed and obliterated. Yes, they did say that. That doesn't mean their capacity to try to rebuild it and every single portion of it from the supply chain up and down was forever destroyed forever and they can never start again. I mean, what? It's like saying we destroyed a battleship and then they rebuild the battleship. And like, what, you said it was destroyed? Yeah, they're rebuilding the battleship. I mean, what's hard to understand?
Hi, guys.
This has been going on for 47 years. Longer than that, actually, when you take in context the whole crisis in this region. They've already killed Americans. Again, I think back to it. This is not the first strike, the second strike, and all the arguments against it without them. I saw someone in, who just said, someone in chat said, the movie sucks. You're a douchebag. The movie's not over. You're actually proving how freaking stupid you are. It's not even over. You're just a doomer asshole clogging up the chat, showing everyone in the chat how freaking stupid you are. I wish I would have stopped the chat.
Hi, guys.
You're advertising what a moron you are. The movie's not over. If you think it sucks, I'll tell you what, just give it 2 weeks and then come back and have an opinion. Fair? I don't even think that's reasonable. However, it's been a few days.
I think he's very upset, guys.
And then the doomers yesterday on Rubio. Oh, I can't believe it. Rubio said we went to war for Israel. He actually said the opposite. Did you hear the entire answer in context? Folks, I'll play the answer in case you think I'm making this up. He said we went to war for Israel. They asked him the question. He says, no. We going to war for Israel? He says no, and then goes on to explain what exactly he means by no, but how we did work with Israel on this strike. He says no. And then the first thing people do is run out. Again, the doomer and gloomer class. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he said, you can't be this dumb. There are some really smart people who you can't possibly be this stupid. That Donald, I just want to be clear what you're suggesting. And I'm asking, I'm not trying to impart upon you an idea that's foreign to you or impugn your character. I'm not. I'm really not. Are you suggesting that Donald Trump is so weak of a human being and a president that Donald Trump's getting dog walked around by a foreign government, making him do what he doesn't want to do? Because if you are, have the moose balls and just say it. I told you in one of my first tweets when I got out that you were going to see this. People who don't have the balls to take on the president, they don't. They just don't have the spine, the steel nerves, or the balls to do it. They hate the president. They don't have the balls to take him on. They dance around the issue. We're at war. Who's we? The United States military is led by the commander-in-chief. The U.S. president, civilian-led leadership. Do you not know that? Who's we? So the president's getting dog walked around by the Israelis? Just say it then, if that's how you feel.
What do you guys think?
Stop being about it. They do the same thing. They dance around. And they never get to the point because they don't want to get confronted on it. Here's Rubio yesterday, our Secretary of State. He's asked a question while briefing the Hill and keeping everyone in the loop as much as he can. He's asked a question about, hey, are we doing this for Israel? I want you to listen to the first word out of his mouth. No. That was conveniently left out of a lot of the context yesterday. Now you see what I'm talking about? People have an agenda and it ain't yours. Check this out.
To strike because of an impending Israeli action?
No, two things I would say. Number one is, no matter what, ultimately this operation needed to happen. That's the question of why now. But this operation needed to happen because Iran in about a year or a year and a half would cross the line of immunity, meaning they would have so many short-range missiles, so many drones that no one could do anything about it because they could hold the whole world hostage. Look at the damage they're doing now. And this is a weakened Iran. Imagine a year from now. So that had to happen. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions and understood what that would mean for us, and we had to be prepared to act as a result of it. But this had to happen no matter what.
So the administration right now knows 100 things, okay? I'm just pulling a number out, round numbers, right? Despite the fact that because he's the commander-in-chief and we elected him in a constitutional republic, he can make these decisions. He runs our military, his civilian leadership. He doesn't have to go to a bunch of Twitter people or podcasters, radio people like me or anyone else and ask our advice. He doesn't, correct? You don't like it? You can, if he was not in his second term, you can vote him out in 4 years. That's how it works, right? That's how it works. Despite the fact that he knows 100 things, doesn't have to tell us any. He chooses to tell you about 80 of them through his people. Just making up the number. You get the point. Based on the context of things I've seen. He sends Witkoff out there, sends Rubio out there. Rubio clearly says, no, we're not doing this because Israel made us do this. We're doing it. It had to happen now. Now think about it in terms of what they are telling you. There was clearly an effort, which they've been very public about, on the Death to America Iranian crowd. I think there may have been a thought in policy circles in D.C. that after the destruction of the nuclear sites months ago, after Midnight Hammer, that these Islamo-fanatic Shia mullahs may change their mind and come back with a reasonable deal. They did not. Game theory, if-then equations, then they had to do something else. They are trying to rebuild. Witkoff clearly explains the gravity of the situation. Rubio then layers on another reason, giving us another piece of the 100 pieces of information, which they're not obligated to share, but they do. But they do, because this is the most transparent administration in history. The guy's in front of the camera, him and his team, all the time. Oh, we haven't heard from him in an hour. That's like a big complaint. Joe Biden, you never heard from him ever. He goes out and says, not only are they trying to rebuild, i.e. what Witkoff said, but they're trying to shield the program through conventional weapons like ballistic missiles and the reconstructed and very powerful, by the way, low-cost drone program, which would make this very difficult to take out. But Rubio is clear. They're not there yet. They're rebuilding it. And he's pretty clear. Why would we wait for them to rebuild the shield, to hit the shield with a sword to see if the shield works? Get them and hit them with the sword before they have the shield done. Why? I don't understand why people are playing stupid. I don't get what they're talking about.
Please, guys,
President Trump keeps changing his mind. He's never changed his mind. I don't know what you're talking about. Guys, skip ahead a minute. Those DOJ releases, pull those up. Here's another one. We're going to debunk all the stupid faux ignorance right now. I don't know, man. I don't know. President Trump says the other day to ABC News that they tried to get me. I got them first. Now you've got some of the same, I hate to say podcast bros and others, keep this up a second, Guy, who were telling us, trying to convince us, despite any evidence, in some cases, that foreign and Iranians were trying to kill President Trump. In one case, now trying to tell you that, oh, that's all BS. You said it wasn't BS, except you just have the case wrong. No one's really trying to kill President Trump from Iran. Did you guys miss this? Department of Justice press release 2024. I wasn't even there. Pakistani national with ties to Iran charged in connection with foiled plot to assassinate a politician or U.S. government official. I thought, Guy, I thought they said there was no Iranian plot. Didn't they, Justin? They said that, right? The bros out there. They're just making that up.
I think that was
what could they? That's a good point, Guy. Guy's reading this Department of Justice headline. By the way, not the Department of Justice I even worked in. This is 2024. What could they possibly mean by Pakistani national with ties to Iran charged in connection with foiled plot to assassinate a politician or U.S. government official? Look, I don't know, Guy. I don't know. It's really confusing. I don't know. That's a good point. Didn't we have to put the definition up the other day? There was that Florida lawmaker. Charlie Kirk was not assassinated. Really? That's incredible. Well, he wasn't? What happened? And you're like, okay, all right, the Iranians via Pakistani intermediary tried to kill President Trump and some others and some other stuff that happened. Whatever. It's only one time. Oh, look, he says there's another one. Holy Moses, where'd you find that, Guy? Where'd you get that? I said it. I totally forgot. So much happened this morning. Wait, leave this one up. These guys are lying to you about everything. Rubio said we went to war for Israel. He actually said no. Go listen to the clip.
But that was
Here's another one. Justice Department. This is November of 2024. Again, I wasn't even there. So don't let me, he's just trying to pat himself. I'm not patting anyone. Wasn't even there. This isn't my work. We had to follow up on it. DOJ announces murder for hire and related charges against IRGC Asset and 2 local operatives. Guy's like, oh, Dan, this is just a press release by the same guy. No, it's actually a different guy. And another guy. That's like 3 guys. Guy said it again. What could they possibly mean? I don't know, Guy. I don't know. What could they There it is. Definition of assassination. Premeditated act of killing someone suddenly or secretively, especially a prominent person. What could they possibly mean? Murder, the crime of unlawfully and unjustifiably killing a person. It's so unclear. It's so unclear. Okay, so now we've established that, yes, in fact, IRGC units have multiple times tried to kill prominent U.S. officials, including the president. You've had podcasts and hosts of content. I don't mean that. I like podcasts. I'm a podcast man. Saying 2 opposite stories. When they want to argue that the government's hiding from some on one assassination case, they're like, man, there was foreign governments involved. I'm like, well, we don't really have any evidence of that. Huh? And then when there's an actual foreign plot, they're like, well, that didn't happen.
But why can't he just say the names? It's Meghan Kelly.
Folks,
and Tucker.
I'm getting a little exhausted with the bullshit around Trump. If you want to say Trump has no agency, okay, and he's getting dog walked around by all these people and his circle and the Israelis and the evil Jews and whatever and all this stuff, then just come out and say it and have the balls.
But
stop with the euphemisms and the stupidity and the word games and pretending like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what they were talking about. He just said it, Rubio. You just had Witkoff on there. And a lot of this is the Israelis taking their own action against target state. Here's another, just happened this morning, just before we got in here. You got that Trey Yingst thing from Foxkey. This just happened maybe 25, 30 minutes ago. There was a meeting of the Iranian Leadership Council to pick new leadership. Guy, they're going to have a problem picking new leadership. Why is that? Because they're now dead. War is an ugly thing. It's just true. Play that clip from Fox this morning.
The scene of one of these cluster munition impacts just outside of Tel Aviv. But I'm told by a senior Israeli official that the Israelis just struck the Supreme Council gathering where the Iranian...
Guys, I'll have to stop and wait until it's done because Fox can sometimes just give you copyright for little segments. So let's wait until they're done so that I can go back. Guys, please like and subscribe and share. Thank you.
We're meeting to choose a new supreme leader. This is a significant development. And again, speak.
Thank you, Lynn and Jeff in the chat and others. I'm just reading some of your comments. Here's Yao Ming in the chat. Trump doesn't answer to anyone, not Bibi or any other leader. Corn Link Dusted. Yeah. They're not going to be picking a new leadership team because the leadership council to pick the team is dead. Folks, again, I can't emphasize enough I think the proof is in the pudding. My entire life, my investments, my passion has always been free speech. As long as you're not breaking the law or trafficking in whatever disgusting like material on the stuff that it's going to violate the TOSs of a website. I'm all about free speech. Can't go and commit a crime on some of these platforms. You are entitled to an opinion. All I ask is that you're honest about it. I was very clear yesterday. I hope that I have a lot of concerns going forward too. A lot of concerns, as many of you do. But stop with the bullshit. The president's unclear about what the directives are. The president speaks discursively. You know that. He has had his people out there in an absolutely crystal clear manner laying out the objectives. Matter of fact, he did it himself. I'm going to take a quick break on this. I'm going to play for you yesterday the president's own words. I don't understand his rationale or his objectives. Did you miss this yesterday? He said it. Don't say he didn't say it. You could say, and if you don't like it, go ahead and run with it. I don't like these objectives, but he said, here are the objectives. Don't tell me you didn't say that. You're just advertising your own stupidity. I don't know what the objectives. Then maybe don't go on the air till you do some homework.
That is right. Like,
people rely on you for information. Be honest about it. And I saw one thing like, oh my gosh, people just now waking up to the Iran rant. Really? Really? Quick break, and I'm going to show you the president saying it himself. Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equated to roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over.
so he's doing commercial now. We're gonna try and just say, please like and share the video. And what's your thoughts on Tucker and Meghan Kelly? Because they're really trying to sound like just like mainstream media. Please write your comment down below, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.
Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings. You convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my last name, Bongino, Bongino, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. Just check it out. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. That's peace of mind. Reduce your anxiety about your financial situation.
I think that is a paid post. I don't know if it's comply with YouTube. So we're going to try and mute it a little bit. I hope he's done talking about it.
Bongino to 989898. Again, text my last name. Now, there are people out there, again, pretending they don't understand the president's objectives. Okay, I'm going to learn you now. Here's a learning session. This is the edutainment, educational portion of the edutainment, had to Boogie Down Productions, right? Of the edutainment show. I am going to play for you video of Donald Trump yesterday telling you again what the objectives are. So now you can stop saying, if you're watching the show, you don't know what the objectives are. You disagree with him, but stop saying he hasn't been clear on it. He has. Take a listen.
When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes.
It's fine. You know what? Play it again. You're right. I went out of order. This is Donald Trump back in 1980. I'm going to get to the objectives part in a second. It's my fault. I went out of order on the show. I don't want to throw these guys under the bus, but live shows sometimes. That's not on me. That's on me, guys. This is Donald Trump back in 1980. I want you to get back into his mindset, too, about how he processes these inputs and came to these objectives. Here he is back in 1980 talking about a situation that if you were alive when I was alive, I was just a kid when this happened. The Iran crisis, the hostage crisis at Iran when they raided our embassy and took our people hostage. I want you to listen to how Donald Trump felt about this back when it happened. This was a huge scar on America. Check this out.
When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold on.
I'm sorry, I can't play this longer. Oh, where is Rumble? Come on. I'm sorry, guys.
etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that. Yes, I don't think there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be nation, and I believe that we
I
should
don't
have
know why
done
you
it.
can't.
At point that we didn't do it, and I don't.
Guys, wait, because it's long and it's gonna be flagged probably because it's not it's a news clip, it's not done show clip, so I hope it's done. I see. Yeah.
For those of you who weren't alive when this happened, we have a really young audience, and that's great. We love having them. I don't care who listens, what age you're with them, it doesn't matter to me. But if you were alive when this happened, the 400 plus days that our people were held hostage by the Iranians, I was a young kid. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not like I was like intensely involved in geopolitics. It was the news story every night. It basically destroyed Jimmy Carter because it made him look weak. This was the story. This impacted so many people, Donald Trump obviously being older than me, who were adults at the time, who basically never forgave the Iranians. I'm not telling you that's what incentivized to do this. I'm setting up why he did it by telling you what the objectives are. But I want you to see what's in his mindset about what happens when weak people like Carter and others allow this stuff to go on, like Biden's evacuation of Afghanistan, prematurely and tactically and efficiently, how it incentivizes more behavior by scumbags who want to kill us. Trump has never changed. He doesn't want to send the message of weakness. Here's Donald Trump. This next one. This is Donald Trump on how, for those of you saying, oh my gosh, Donald Trump, he's getting us into another Iraq. Really? Donald Trump was so bothered by how we extended the operation in Iraq without a clear metric, I think, for success or an exit strategy, that the wounded warriors would come home, bother him so much, he would talk about it all the time. Here's Donald Trump on this. Check this out.
You know, nobody talks about the soldiers that are coming back with no arms and no legs. And I saw at Mar-a-Lago on Mondays, I make Mar-a-Lago my club that you know about.
In Palm Beach.
I make that twice now. On a Monday, I let returning Iraqi injured soldiers come to the premises. The most beautiful people I've ever seen. But they're missing arms and legs. They're with their wives. Sometimes they're with their girlfriends. And the tears are coming down the faces of these people. I mean, the thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands. And the Iraqis that have been just maimed and killed. This war is a horrible thing. Now, President Bush says he's religious. And yet 400,000 people, the way I count it, have died. And probably.
I'm going to wait until it's done. Yes. 1 second. Yeah.
Folks, he's never changed. You see him back in 1980 discussing the humiliation we had to endure when these scum Islamo fanatic radicals, took our people hostage for over a year, humiliated the entire nation, how it scarred him. And he understands this invites further attacks. However, he's also been impacted by the Iraq war. He's talked about it all the time. How, one, it wasn't conducted right. We should have taken custody of the oil. How, if we were going to do it, we should have been in and out. It should not have been an extended war. He's run on that too. The guy hasn't really changed. Now, I was talking about this before. He was clear on his objectives at the White House yesterday. He laid them out. Again, you can talk all you want. He wasn't clear. He was clear. Disagree with them or not, here they are. Check this out.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon, never going to have a nuclear weapon. I said that from the beginning. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. They were on the road to getting one legitimately through a deal that was signed foolishly by our country. And finally, we're ensuring that the Iranian regime cannot continue to arm, fund, and direct terrorist armies outside of their borders.
So he's been clear on what the objectives are. He just laid them out. He literally said, here are the objectives. Here are the objectives. Missile capacity, making sure their ballistic missiles can't threaten the entire region. And folks, acting like the region doesn't matter to us when a good portion of the world's oil that powers your life, your ability to like not freeze to death in the freaking winter, acting like that stuff doesn't matter is total bullshit and complete naivete. Got to get rid of their missile capacity because they've already told you and shown that they're going to use it. Second, we've got to get rid of their Navy and their ability to stop traffic from exiting the Strait of Hormuz and a lot of the oil making its way around you got to get rid of their Navy. You don't want them to mine the place. So here's some video, by the way, of some of the destruction of their naval assets, upwards of 11 Iranian ships taken out. They can't have nuclear weapons because we don't want nuclear blackmail to happen and them to kill us. And we have to basically crush support for these terror proxies. Now, a lot of these people are acting after a lot of these results, by the way, have already been met. They're acting like they don't know what's going on, playing stupid. Just here's the problem. Here's how I see it. People aren't used to DC politicians. Donald Trump's a politician like anyone else, obviously ran for office. People are not used to the DC political class actually doing stuff. They're just not. They're used to like roundabout rhetoric and constant bullshit. And when stuff happens and happens fast like this, they almost don't know how to respond. So they process it as chaos when in fact it's just results and results quickly.
I think this is true.
They're used to people talking. They're just not used to people actually doing stuff. You've heard Democrats and other prominent Democrats run in the past on, man, you know, we're going to have to do something eventually about the Iranian nuclear program. Okay, he did it. He did it. You just don't like the fact that it happened quickly. Here's Brett Baer yesterday on Fox saying he spoke to Donald Trump, and they're actually all stunned at the degree and how quickly this stuff happened. They were expecting a lot of this decapitation of the leadership and the destruction of a lot of these programs and facilities take up to 4 weeks. Some of it happened in a day. They're just not comfortable with the speed and the results. Check this out.
Let's get off the phone with the president. He is very pleased with how things are going. Obviously, is disheartened about the loss of life, and there may be more, he said, along the way. But as far as the progress, he said they are ahead of where they thought they would be. I want to read some of these quotes that I asked him and how he answered. He said that as far as a plan, they do have a plan, always had a plan.
Guys, we're going to stop and wait until they're done because these people, they'll just give you a copyright whenever you play their clip. I wait when they're done so that we can just listen to them because these people are really like money hungry. They'll even give small channel copyrights and then they pretend like, oh.
And it's always, you know, if they heard what was going on. We knew exactly what was.
We want to be listening to Dan, so we're going to avoid them.
Ever heard of, even though they don't know. People study.
Okay, he's done.
There it is, folks. He's been pretty clear. Hey, I thought this would take up to 4 weeks. We've already passed most of the metrics for success. He does not, I think it really bothers people that he doesn't plan on a forever war and they don't know how to respond. So you're seeing this again, extinction burst of craziness. He's not telling us what the objectives are. Here are the objectives. Oh, I don't like the objective. Which one don't you like? Regime change. Well, he killed people who were chanting death to America. That's part of the regime. Was regime change the goal? Maybe in the sense that we wanted the regime in charge now that was threatening us to die, but regime change in context of nation building, like we were going to sit there and change and fertilize and water the regime like we tried in Iraq. He's clearly not going to do that. He's been crystal clear about it.
That is going to take years, and I think it's going to be a mistake if you try to do that.
Do you see this commentator yesterday too? By the way, the embarrassing, humiliating defeat of the Iranian military. Embarrassing. Their goal was basically the Iranian military, one thing. Anyone telling you they were going to try to project force outside of proxies, outside of Iran is full of shit. Their goal is one thing, preservation of the regime that are now dead. They couldn't even do that. The destruction was so quick and rapid. The people complaining about, oh my gosh, it's chaotic. It's not chaotic. You're just not used to processing so many results so quickly. You're just not used to it. You're used to shit talking all the time. I saw this online as a military analyst, Jake Bro. I think it's real Jake Bro on X. But just like a minute of how bad and humiliating the performance by the Iranian military was. And yet 3 days in, again, you got a bunch of doomers already complaining about it. The movie's not even over. Check this out.
And as far as the active fighting in the war, Iran's already lost. This war has been going on for less than 48 hours. And in my opinion, Iran's military is already defeated. If they were going to score any serious hits against anyone, they probably would have done it in the first 12 hours.
I agree.
But Israel and the United States now control the skies over Iran. They're eliminating targets at will. All the most dangerous and highest priority targets have been already destroyed. If Iran was going to destroy like a battleship or an aircraft carrier, they would have done it by now.
I agree.
And Iran's response has been pretty embarrassing. The Iranian regime has fired missiles at 9 countries: Bahrain, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and the UAE. The sporadic and uncoordinated nature of the attacks on a wide number of different targets has resulted in minimal damage being caused, despite such a large number of missiles being employed.
SC Edmonds in the chat. Precision targets are not chaotic. They know what they're doing. This took planning, a lot of planning. Yes, sir, or ma'am, yes, it did. You don't like us being there? Fine. It's a republic. Opinions are everywhere. That doesn't mean they're good ones. What part of the mission exactly now bothers you? People clamoring about how they so strongly object to regime change. You want the Ayatollah back? I don't understand. This is something. I think you're confusing, again, nation building with regime change. Yes, of course they wanted to take out and decapitate the leadership that was planning to rebuild the nuclear program and shield it so they could blackmail the world with it. You know, folks, a lot of these regimes, they learned a lot from both Libya and the Iraq War. After we decimated what was thought to be, if you remember the original Gulf War I and II, Saddam Hussein's army was thought to be perilous. I mean, really like a relatively strong army for the region. They got destroyed. They got humiliated. I'll never forget a friend of mine when I was an agent telling me he was a TOW missile operator, how pathetic the performance of the Iraqi military was. There were foreign heads of state that hate us that watched that and said, gosh, if we don't go nuclear, we don't stand a chance. That's what the Iranians were trying to do. And Dems are basically admitting now, too. This is where, folks, everything has a purpose in the show. Purpose. The Democrats are basically, in their analysts, admitting now, too, that, you know what, we're going to paint this as kind of chaotic. It's not chaotic. It's just a series of results. It's like taking 4 or 5 finals on the same day. You're still going to take your finals in college and get a score, but yeah, it's going to be busy because you're taking them all on the same day. This guy moves fast, this president. He doesn't want finals over the course of 6 weeks. He wants them all in the same day. Because I told you he's transactional. I worked for him. I know him. He wants results, and he doesn't want to wait.
This is going so
Here is
fast.
Dan Turrentine, an analyst with Sean Spicer, who'll be back. Supposed to be on today. We'll have him back at some point. They're now admitting the pace of the results, chaotic, is going to be like kind of their message going forward. I want you to watch this clip. And then I'm not knocking this guy specifically, but watch how you start to see this word going forward. You're going to say, Dan wasn't kidding. Chaos. You're going to hear the word chaos going. They don't mean chaos. They just mean they're uncomfortable with the results because it makes Donald Trump look good. Check this out.
The party is all over the place right now. So, I mean, those are 2 separate questions. I think one thing that and this is just anecdotal, found stunning was just the number of people I know who are apolitical or even Trump supporters who are like, I don't like this. Now, to Sean's point, they're kind of hoping that this works. But go back to what's Trump's weakness right now, not just in Iran, but everywhere. Extreme and chaotic, right? Those are the frame that Minnesota, even the Venezuela thing, while it got more popular, people were like, whoa, I woke up to, we went into Venezuela. Now, to Sean's point, it was over within 4 hours, literally. And within 8 hours, he was in New York, or 12 hours, right? I do think there are a lot of people who are like, holy cow, we went. I mean, on Tuesday, he gave a State of the Union. I think it was 3.5 minutes on Iran. And on Wednesday, we were talking about whether people stood or not on immigration. And we are now talking about a regional war in the Middle East. So I think Sean is right. If this comes to a quick, if Iran capitulates, we get a new government that wants to work with us and there's peace, Trump's going to almost be on Mount Rushmore to some extent, right? That he pulled this off.
Everything goes
the reason I put this Dan Turrentine gentleman up in this clip is because at least he's fairly honest about it. I mean, I don't have no hatred in my heart for anyone who's got a D in front of their name, but he's honest. If this results in the decapitation of the Iranian debt to America class, and they can get even some semblance of a government that they're going to build. We're not building. We're not nation building. President Trump has said now 4 or 5 times to the Iranian people, this is your chance. You blow it, it's on you. He said that, correct?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have the clip, but you've heard him say it. I just, I
he
usually
did.
bring the receipts, but I'll throw it in maybe in tomorrow's show.
He did.
He's already said it multiple times. This guy's fairly honest about it. You're going to see the word chaos thrown out there now every day. It does not mean chaos. He's saying to you right now, yeah, Democrats are all over the place. It looks chaotic, but the results, if they pan out, which I can almost guarantee you they will, if the results pan out, you're going to have to put this guy on Mount Rushmore. At least he's honest about it. Dan Turrentine. I'm happy to have him on too. It's an interesting debate to have. Folks, as I said, it is ridiculous to tell everyone how much you hate a movie where you're not even remember back in the old days, no one here's as old as me, but they used to have intermissions in movies. Remember that? You used to go out and get popcorn. We're not even at the intermission from the 70s and 80s yet. And you already think the movie sucks. It's just, I don't know, folks. I just find it fairly disingenuous. It's not over. Here's a very quick CNN clip of they're saying what Donald Trump apparently spoke to Jake Tapper and told him, guys, ladies, this mission we're engaged in, it's not even close to over yet. Remember the whole everybody hold. The big stuff hasn't even happened yet. Check this out.
Told my colleague Jake Tapper that the big wave is yet to come. So clearly things are going to be escalating, not de-escalating in the future.
Reuters, Trump tells CNN the big wave in war with Iran is yet to come. You think you think he's lying? I don't understand you. When has he lied to you before?
Okay,
he warned
guys.
Maduro, don't screw around. He did. Now he's in a U.S. prison. He warned the Ayatollahs.
Okay, guys, so we'll see you back tomorrow. Please go and follow Don Bongino show. So we'll see you tomorrow because we've already passed 50 minutes. So we're going to be live tomorrow. Go follow the rest on Rumble. Thank you for watching with me. Bye-bye tomorrow.